What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Podium. This is episode 5. Today's topic will be why powerlifters burn out. So we're just going to jump right into that.
Yeah, I think we'll focus mostly on why younger lifters burn out the most, but I think it kind of is a problem in all of powerlifting, and all powerlifters either have experienced it or have quit because of burnout. And
Yeah,
I think hopefully we can share why it happens and hopefully relate to a lot of younger lifters and how to overcome it and help people continue in the sport.
100%.
So
So, I
what
mean, the first thing I want to say about burnout, right, as it pertains to like younger lifters, I'd say like for people around our age and younger, like 80 to 90% of the reason burnout happens is just like out of boredom. Like you try out powerlifting, you realize you don't really like it as much as you thought, and you get bored and you move on. And I feel like there's really nothing wrong with that. Like when you're young, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to try out new things and figure out what you like. So I don't know. I don't think
Yeah.
that's like a bad reason to quit. I just wanted to get that out the way.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think like if you don't enjoy the sport, there's no reason to continue in it. No, I'm not
Yeah,
saying like if you have one bad session or there's like one day you don't want to work out that you shouldn't do it. But in general, if you're competing for a long period of time or even years and you just don't enjoy doing it, there's no reason to force yourself to keep doing it. But
yeah.
I
There's
think
like little to
well,
no incentive to stay
yeah,
in. Like
yeah. I think some of the reason why you may not enjoy it anymore could be due to some of these issues, though, and they could be solved and make you love the sport again. So,
for sure. You got anything to add, Noah?
Um, yeah, I think people that go into powerlifting or any new sport, they almost like fantasize over it. Like they think, like they have this perception that they love it so much,
Hmm.
unlike what you were saying, Asante, but they really don't.
Yeah.
It's like this weird, like kind of like this girl that you'd never talk to, but you have this like conception of how she is. And
Uh
then
huh.
once you actually start talking to her and you take her out on a date, you're like, yeah,
This is
this
not
this
it.
ain't what I thought. This ain't
Yeah.
it. Yeah, exactly. I think that's how a lot of new lifters see powerlifting. Like they're, yeah, I don't know. It's like it's a fantasy.
Hmm.
yeah, I definitely get that. Do you, have you, I guess, I don't know about you guys. I personally have for sure, I don't know if I'd say experienced burnout, but have had like long periods of time where I just didn't enjoy powerlifting. Um,
Hmm.
and kind of different reasons why I know that occurred. Have you both had that?
Oh, 100%. So I'd say like this year actually was like the worst case of burnout that I experienced. It like went on from like I want to say like from January all the way up until like June. I like did not like powerlifting at all. Like I wasn't having fun. I fucking hated training. I was like dreading going to the gym. It was just a bad time. And like I remember like nationals happened and once it was over, I took like I took like 3 weeks off, almost a month, to let my body reset. But in reality, I was just fucking like depressed and didn't want to go to the gym anymore.
Yeah. Was there ever a moment where you thought of just not powerlifting anymore?
Um,
Or did you always think you were going to come back?
Literally every day of that prep, I was just like, bro, I don't know if powerlifting's for me. I might have to announce my retirement after this meeting.
It's crazy because that's actually probably the exact same time period as mine too. Like
Really?
February to probably right before nationals. So mine was probably a little shorter, like it ended just
Yeah.
before. But yeah, from like February probably to nationals, I thought the same thing. Where just like, why am I even competing? And I think
Yeah.
the biggest reason for that, um, and I think a big reason for a lot of people is it's just your uh, expectations on what you can do, and almost just being
Yeah.
desensitized to like how crazy being a world champion really is.
Hmm.
Like in my head at that point, it was like my total right now can't win worlds. I could not be an open champion. So why am I even competing? And
That's crazy.
yeah, in reality, I think a lot of people think that way. And it's like, if you are a world champion, you're the best there is. There's nothing higher than winning worlds. You're number one in the world. So if you're anything less than that, it doesn't mean you're bad at the sport or shouldn't be doing it. And I think that was a big problem is it was kind of just all or nothing for me at that time. It was just if I can't win worlds, then I shouldn't even be competing in the sport.
That's kind of how I felt. I guess it's not towards like winning worlds, but it's like if I'm not gonna be like a lot of the reason why I was like kind of scared to pull the trigger on the like going up to 74s was because I was like afraid that I wouldn't be competitive. So I was
Yeah.
thinking like if I'm not gonna be competitive, then like why even do it?
Yeah.
You know? But like eventually I just got to a point where I didn't care. I prioritized my enjoyment over the sport. Sorry, my enjoyment of the sport over the competitiveness aspect, I guess.
Yeah. I think that's a point a lot of people have to get to. It's just you're not gonna be competitive in the sport if you don't genuinely enjoy it, or at least not for a long period of
Exactly.
time. Because I mean, if
Hmm.
you think about it, like if you only enjoy winning and you hate training, if you compete twice a year, that's like 2 out of 365 days that you actually enjoy. That's not going to be sustainable over a long period of time if you just hate training forever.
Exactly. It's like
Yeah, I agree with that.
and it's like
So do
now
you,
I'm finding out that like actually like maybe I can be competitive, and I was wasting my time being you know being too scared of the competition.
yeah, yeah. Noah, did you ever
Yeah,
have
I
a time where you thought of quitting or just had that feeling?
yeah, I think everyone does. But you just it's kind of like what I was saying in the beginning. It's you want to quit um because you want to try something else, whether it's another sport, you want to go back to your old sport, you want to try a new sport, martial arts, something, right? You're like, oh, that's gonna fill my void. That's gonna be fun, something exciting.
Hmm.
But you don't need that because you just take some time to like really think like instead of acting so impulsively, just sit down, go to your training days. It might not be so exciting, but you're gonna realize that you want to keep doing this, and you're gonna think, okay, well, I actually didn't want to do that. That was just like something that sounds exciting to fill another feeling that I want. Um, and it's just understanding that you shouldn't just act on your emotions.
Hmm.
And I think that kind of goes along with what you were saying about how people love winning because like I wouldn't say Russ loves I think Russ is a good example of someone that he loves winning in whatever it is. Like if he wants to be good at it and win, he's gonna do it. But I think he's recently changed his mindset to where it's like I'm gonna win. I'm gonna take a dub on this training session. So
Yes.
he's like he's always excited. He's always taking these wins in training. That's
Yeah,
keeping him going. And
Yep.
I think that it's just like a mentality switch for people that they need to take. That it's like if you love winning in powerlifting, change your mentality to I'm gonna take a win on this training session. And you might take losses in training sessions, like everyone does, but
Yeah. I heard this phrase is actually from Sam Sulek. He was I think he said the man who enjoys walking is gonna walk further than the man who enjoys the destination.
mm,
Does
yeah,
that make
yeah,
sense?
yeah. That's good.
yeah,
So you got to have like a love for the process, not just the end goal.
for
Yeah,
sure.
and I mean, I think like with powerlifting training especially, it can be boring. Like powerlifting training isn't always enjoyable, I think, compared to a lot
Hmm.
of other styles of training. So you kind of, it's a strategy almost and a skill you have to make it enjoyable. Where, I mean, you can find little PRs in everything you do, just volume PRs or uh, like RPE PRs almost, like where you hit a certain weight faster than you have before, or more weeks
Hmm.
in a row than you have before, or more sets. It doesn't necessarily have to be like the most amount of weight you've ever lifted before. There's a lot of different ways to kind of make training enjoyable without uh, going off program or overshooting or wanting to quit.
Yeah, it's like progress doesn't always look like a new one rep max.
Yeah, yeah,
There's there's like I don't know, progress looks different. It's I don't know what I'm saying, but
Nah, we know what
yeah.
you're saying.
yeah. No, that makes sense.
like
It's
it
like
comes
this
it comes in different ways, it's not always,
yeah,
a new one rep max. There's small wins everywhere.
Yeah, you
for
can
sure.
not PR a lift for a while and still be progressing on it. Just because you haven't hit a new single PR doesn't mean you're not gaining any strength or not getting better at it.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
I haven't like actually hit any like one rep PRs in over a year, but I know for a fact that I'm stronger now than I was a year ago.
Yeah,
Wait. On that point, Austin, I'm not calling you out or anything, but I'm calling you out. So,
yeah,
okay, on that point, you haven't benched the 150 for over a year, right?
yep.
So I guess my question is, do you think you're stronger on bench now, and you're just not, and you just haven't been peaked to display that strength? You haven't been peaked good enough to display that strength, or do you think that that strength has really just plateaued?
I think for bench right now, I think at nationals I'll have the highest bench I've ever hit. Because even on
Okay.
that point, like my all-time PR on bench is 150 kilograms, but just at Worlds when I just competed, I hit a meet PR bench. So even
Hmm.
though in training it's been a year since I've hit a PR, at Worlds I just hit a meet PR. Um, I've been hitting rep PRs on bench. Now squat is a different story, but bench is a is a good example of I think you can progress a lift without hitting a single PR.
For
Yep.
sure. I just wanted to see what you'd say. It just popped in my mind. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, even just like the week one benches that I'm hitting right now are heavier than the week one benches I hit when I benched 150. So
Yeah.
Yep.
in just in that way, my baseline strength is higher. I just haven't showed the top end yet.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, when you this is a little bit off topic, when you hit that yellow,
Yeah,
I was started bro, I was like, bro, this kid's gonna be benching like 375 next year. I'm like, this can't.
little
I was like,
little did you know, I wouldn't even bench 150.
dude,
Ever again.
I was scared. Anyways, sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I think another big reason is just people try to be like too good in the sport too early, or I guess have the expectation of being too good in the sport too early. Like there's a
Hmm.
lot of this is I guess to teenage lifters specifically that
Hmm.
think I was part of that too, where as a like a 19-year-old I thought I'd be winning open worlds. And I think that's the problem with a lot of teenage lifters is they think they should be winning open worlds at such a young age, where in reality that's super uncommon and nowadays
Let
pretty
me
much never happens.
let me pause real quick. Let me pause. Well, I want to say, if you're a young and very talented lifter such as Austin Nikolai, um, I wouldn't say that it's like bad or unreasonable to have that goal for yourself, but at the same time, you can't let it like get too under your skin if it doesn't happen. You have to be like delusional within reason, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
Like you
Yeah,
gotta
I
have that,
agree.
like you gotta have that delusional goal, but you have to also accept that if it doesn't happen, it's okay too.
Yeah. I mean, so I
And
I got the ages for every world champion right now on the men's side. The
Uh-huh.
average age right now of world champions from this year is 27 and a half years old. So, like, when you think of that as a teenage lifter, when you're 18, 19 years old, thinking you should be winning worlds, the average age is almost 28 years old. So, it's if you think you have, I guess it's not necessarily wanting to win worlds at a young age. It's more thinking that you should be winning worlds already when you're that young. I think there's a lot of people that at that age just think that they should be good already, like competitive in the open, where
Hmm.
like in reality that doesn't happen until mid to late 20s. The earliest or the youngest world champion right now is 24 years old on the men's side.
And
Yep.
who's the
Monk.
oldest?
Oldest is 35 for Germans.
And
Monk.
with Shell, I mean, he's a contender for, he's up there. So I want to know, how old is Shell? Do you know? Does
It's like
anyone know that?
37.
36 or 37.
Yeah, so
He's
yeah,
pushing 40, bro.
that's crazy.
Still in
Anyways,
the game.
Yeah,
yeah.
even for Sheffield this year, that'll be happening in I think it's like 10 weeks from now. The average age on the men's side is 28 years old, and the average age on the women's side is 28 years old. For all
Mhm.
24 competitors, the average age is 28.
So
That's
that's
crazy.
that seems to be constant. Like 27 to 28 is like prime age for a powerlifter.
Yeah, and on the men's side, I think the youngest is still 24. I
That
think
makes
on the
sense.
women's side, there's younger because I think Agata is like 22 or 21 or something.
Yeah,
Is
But
she
Agate's
still a junior?
she's
yeah,
like already, bro.
yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah,
Yeah, she's crazy. But she's like the outlier of all outliers.
yeah, yeah. Well, plus
Yeah.
I think the women's side isn't as developed yet. I think it's like a couple years behind the men's side.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, that's safe to say.
Mm-hmm. Because like what's like what's the split? How many like male competitors versus female competitors? Like how different are the talent pools?
I I don't even know. I think overall men would probably be way higher, especially at the local level.
Oh
I
yeah,
think there aren't
100%.
many. Like I think there's a lot of guys that just do it for fun, just do one meet, like, oh yeah, I'll see where I'm at. Compared to, I
Yeah.
don't think there's a lot of, I think a lot of women that get into it kind of stick with it longer because I don't think they would have started originally if they didn't plan on doing it longer. I
I
could be
feel like
wrong on that.
I think women stick around longer than men on average. If we
Nah,
had to guess.
nah. I don't think we have enough data to do that, but I don't think the like most women like they want to do that long term.
Yeah. I don't
I
know.
don't know. I just
But
don't see it.
I see Austin's point. Like there are like a lot of dudes that like just they only do one meet and then they're out. Just
Yeah,
like they just do it out of curiosity.
yeah.
And
That's true.
I don't see that happen as much with women. It seems
I
like when
guess
they get into powerlifting, they're more intentional about it.
I think on the local level, women probably do it for longer, but on like the world level or national level, I think probably guys stick around longer or have longer
That's
careers.
yeah.
Yeah,
I agree with that. I'd like to see some numbers on that.
Yeah,
yeah. We got
But
to fact check that and come back to
yeah,
it later.
yeah, because like if you like I don't know Utah. I'm from Utah, but my like the local women that compete in Utah, that compete at either a local and maybe like a hand, maybe I know like two or three at a national level, but like they're very consistent with the local meets,
Hmm.
and the guys definitely shuffle through.
hmm
But at the national level, like they're like, oh well, I don't know, like like, they're not that
yeah. I
like
can
they're
see that.
indecisive at the national level. I mean,
Yeah.
there's not that many women in Utah that I know that are at the national level, but
Yeah, I could see that.
Hmm.
yeah. But take what I say about the women's side with a grain of salt. I
Yeah.
don't actually know it very well, and
Well, I don't
apologies.
think. I mean, we don't have like the numbers or data or anything to
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
back
just
it
don't
We're
up.
have
literally
this.
we're just talking out of our ass right now.
Yeah.
Take this
Well,
with a grain of salt.
yeah, exactly.
The world's age numbers, those I have though. Those I have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which
Oh,
honestly,
another thing. Sorry,
what?
go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I think it's also interesting too with more people getting into powerlifting. I've seen a lot of people say it's becoming a young person's sport. Like the sport is went from being mostly older people being competitive to younger people, where
Hmm.
actually with like the average age of people competing at Sheffield has actually gone up for both the men's and women's side from the first Sheffield 2022 to 2024. The average age has increased. Even with like a shift in competitors, it's not like it's the same people every year. Even when there's new people that come in, it's not
Hmm.
usually like these young kids that are like breaking out into the open. It's still like older people that are coming into it.
Well, we saw we saw Shell 37. We saw Jurens.
Yep.
Uh, what's how do you say his name? Constance. Constance.
Constant sound. Yeah.
Samsung.
Yeah, he's been around for a while. He's not young.
Yeah. I think
Uh,
Garcia is not in
he's
Sheffield, but
he's 29, I think.
yeah, he's that's Unk, bro.
It's older
But
than average age.
yeah, but I think this year we saw like a lot of like older dudes, like dudes that have been around for a while, like kind of explode
Yeah. Actually,
and jump
that's
to another level.
another like quick point is the of all the world champions right now, their first meet on average was at age 20 for all of them.
oh
So,
wow.
like when you look at that way for a teenage lifter, if you're doing your first meet at even 18, 19, you're already competing in powerlifting sooner than on average what all the world champions have.
Yeah,
So,
I was gonna say that like this is kind of off topic, but kind of not. But you also shouldn't like compare yourself to like the what do you call it, like the junior phenoms, the
yeah,
freaks, you know?
yeah,
Because I firmly believe that like some people just hit their stride at a different time, you know?
yeah,
Like not
yeah, for
everybody's gonna
sure.
be like a an early bloomer. Not everybody can be an Elliot Sykes or a Joe Borenstein,
Yeah,
you know?
Or Nikolai.
Yeah, or Austin. Well, honestly, you can't really say that about Austin because he's been around for a long time. I wouldn't really call him like
Dude,
a
but
freak.
I think Bortine has
I
too,
think
though.
Yeah, I was gonna
yeah,
say that about Borenstein as well.
Yeah,
He's kind of been around for a while too. But like
yeah, but
Elliot,
they're still hitting that. They're still hitting like their stride at such an. I think Austin still would have been in like a really similar space if he started like 2 years later.
I don't think so.
Because
I
he
think
just
I think
wasn't developed physically. Like if you just look at him like at Teen Nats when he was competing against Aiden Taylor and what's that kid name? That's kid that the Asian guy.
Alan Chan.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
when he was competing
yeah,
with Alan Chan in the year after, he looks like a different person, bro.
Yeah, that
yeah,
puberty hit you hard, huh?
Like, dude, he looks like a completely different person. He looks like he came out of like walked out of fifth grade in that on that podium post.
pretty much
And
did.
like just from that 1 year, he's changed a lot. I think he'd be really similar.
Maybe, but
Like,
I believe that like oh shit, I believe training age is more important
Yeah,
than like actual age. It
yeah,
like I think
I
it's more
agree.
yeah.
significant in like how far you can go in the sport or how
Yeah,
much progress you should expect to make.
So
yeah.
you're saying in a couple of years I'll hit Nikolai status?
I mean, you might, bro. Like who knows? Because you
I
haven't
hope
been powerlifting for that long,
2021,
3 years,
almost 4 years.
and we're kind of old, bro.
Yeah, we're getting up
That's
there,
not
aren't
old.
we?
That's like I don't think that we're still fresh, honestly.
Yeah.
Like
No,
if
I
you
think
really think about it, we're pretty fresh.
I think that's another good topic almost though is like everyone is going to experience a period of time where like Asante, when you said you haven't hit a PR in a year, I haven't hit a squat or bench PR in a year.
Mhm.
I think that's the point where a lot of people just quit the sport because that's part of the
Oh yeah.
enjoyment is hitting PRs. Where
Hmm.
then
Yeah.
you see people where I think even what like Keiko, didn't he just hit a squat? And he said it was the first time he's had that on his back in like 6 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Or I think Nori just hit a, oh well, not too recently, but sometime hit a. I mean, I think he's looking for a big PR total. That'd be a PR total for the first time in I don't know how long, or really even just progressing in how long. And
Hmm.
I think that's just another thing. Nori could be somewhat competitive in the 83s right now, where these last couple of years he just hasn't even been in the mix anymore. And that's just,
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of people just quit when they're in that situation where imagine what would happen if you just stayed and pushed through it. You could hit another stride.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think like it literally just comes in waves, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, that's how I've experienced it at least. Like once
yeah,
I got to that point where like I stopped hitting PRs every single block.
yeah, yeah.
It would
I
it
mean,
would
same.
it would kind of like stagnate for a few months, and then I would like have a crazy explosion, and then I stagnate again, and then I explode again.
Yeah,
Dude, you're like the most predictable lifter. Like I'm like, all right, he hasn't hit a PR for like 3, 4 months. He's gonna hit something huge in like a
yeah,
month or two. And it
Yeah,
always happens. It always happens, bro. Like you pull like you're deadlifting sub like 580 because you're like hurt or something, and then next day you're pulling like six something. I'm like, bro, what the hell?
yeah. I mean, it comes from just sticking around and like compounding, solid training sessions on top of each other, and then eventually it pays off in the form of a big PR. You
yeah,
just have to be
Not for
patient,
you though. Solid,
huh?
bro. You're saying compounding solid blocks, but you're hitting bench only, and then you come back and hit a PR.
What do you mean? Wait.
Dude,
What are you referring to?
you straight up do that. Like you hurt something in your back or something, so you're literally only doing like Larson press, and then 2 months later you come back, start to deadlifting, and then starting to deadlift again, and then like you're hitting a PR.
Oh yeah, I remember that. It was after I tore my MCL. I couldn't like squat or deadlift for like 2 months, and
didn't
then I
you
got
Yeah.
actually like
healthy.
leave coach?
Yeah, I left coach like very briefly,
Yeah,
and then I came back. We did 2 blocks, and then I was pulling 600.
Yeah. I don't
But
get
yeah.
it.
I think that just comes from youth, though. I don't think I would be able to pull that off now.
Bro, you are not old, bro. Come on. Come on, bro.
Bro, I'm 36, dog.
um,
But but seriously though, like people get to that point where like the PRs aren't happening, super consistently, and like it's like no longer fun to them anymore, and they don't have the
yeah,
patience to stick around and wait for
yeah,
that explosion.
yeah. I think a lot of people just aren't worth, or not aren't worth, aren't willing to like sacrifice the things that they kind of need to continue that progression too. Like as a
Yeah,
teenage lifter, especially, you can kind of get away with a lot and still progress your lifts compared to once you get to a not necessarily a certain age. It's different for everyone, but there you get to a time or even a training age where you just have to start like literally just locking in other things around you to keep progressing. You can't go out and
yeah,
like drink every weekend or get 4 hours of sleep every night, have horrible nutrition, and then expect to still keep progressing. And I think that's something that a lot of, especially teenage lifters, aren't willing to do.
yeah. Like I remember when I was like first getting into powerlifting, like I could just all I had to do was fucking look at a weight, and I would get stronger. Like I didn't have to
Bro,
do anything.
do you get well, yeah, Austin, you remember this. Asante, when Austin first squatted 500,
Hmm.
dude, I remember this
I
so
remember the
vividly,
day.
but like every single block, like, because like I joined right around that time he squatted 500 for the first time,
Yep.
but I saw the progression like of his block before, like that he was hitting a PR every single block back to back, and like almost week to week he was hitting
Yeah. It
PRs.
was like every other week.
And
Do you
like
want
the deadlift, like when he pulled 550 for the first time, it was crazy leading like his squat and deadlift every single block he was PRing. I don't know, man.
And
You
you,
guys,
Austin, before that, you were having like some troubles on squat too. Like
Yeah, so
didn't you squat like 430 or something, and then you didn't hit a PR for a long time.
yeah, so for context, before I joined coach, I squatted 455. Um,
Okay,
and I'll actually find the exact progression, but I squatted
you squatted
455.
455 before being with Flex?
Yeah, I squatted 455 before I ever had a coach.
and you're like sub 140 when you did that too,
Yeah, I have no
right?
idea how heavy I was. Yeah, probably. Um,
Because weren't you weighing like 135? Like you were
I
eating
was
into
light.
me.
Yeah, I was light.
Hmm.
So yeah, actually, because yeah, I squatted 455 before I had a coach. Then I did teen nationals when I was with coach. And I remember I weighed in super light to that meet. And that was still
Yeah.
when the weight class was 66. And I weighed in
Mm.
really light to that. So I was definitely in the 130s. And
Yeah.
I think I squatted like 429 at nationals. I don't remember. But then I squatted 435 on a week 3. And that was the most I had touched uh, since getting with coach. And then the next block, I squatted 460. Then
Jesus Christ.
the block after that, I squatted 475. Then the block after that was when I hit 500.
This was a terrible time in my life, by the way.
You
I
were,
remember,
you were
Asante, it's because of you that I squatted that 500 too.
I was just like I was just watching all of this unfold week by week.
So
I was low-key pissed.
my squat went from 435 to 460 to 475 to 500 to 510, and then the next block was nationals where we all met when I squatted the 512.
Jesus
Then
Christ.
it stopped
So
for a while, but
mhm.
yeah.
But it's like we were saying, it's like those waves, you know?
Yeah. Well, then even when
Yeah,
I got to 600, that was a arguably even crazier. Maybe not. It was probably just the same. I mean, I
you're
went
tripping, bro.
from for my 600 squat, I went from 551 PR, or no, it was a 556 PR. I squatted at the Arnold. Then it
Hmm.
took a couple blocks and I got back to 551 in the gym. Then the next
Yeah,
block on week 3, I hit 573. Then the next week on week 4, I hit 595. And then the block after that is when I hit 606.
that's crazy.
Yeah. So it was a way quicker uh, progression, but not as much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's a thing is like, imagine all that time that I went without hitting a PR. If I would have just quit, I could have quit when I was at like a 540 squat and not progressing, not knowing that I would randomly in 2 months be squatting 600.
Yeah,
I
you
don't,
just
I
never
think,
know.
yeah, I think that's a problem with a lot of people. They just quit too early or when they think they have nothing left. And there's a big PR coming soon around the corner.
Yeah. If you just lock in, you can surprise yourself.
Yet, like, seriously.
Yeah.
yeah. No, I agree with that for sure. I hit the first time I squatted 550. I was only planning on hitting 530, and I hit 530, and that was already a PR. And I'm like, oh, all right, I'm loading the yellow. it was it was
It
crazy.
was that simple, huh?
It, it was just there that day. Like it.
Yeah,
That's
that's how
just how it
my
is, bro.
that's how my first 500 was. I squatted
Hmm.
485, and that was a PR. And I remember I sent it to you and Logan Asante,
Yep.
and
I'll never
I was
forget this
just gonna
day.
call it there. Like I was sending you that video because I was so happy because it was 4 reds, and then you guys were like,
Yeah.
"That is not at 8. Go to 500 right now." And it wasn't even a thought in my mind. I thought there was no chance I had 500, but since you guys said that, I loaded it. So I hit 2 single PRs that day.
That's crazy. I think I got 507 around the corner for me. I think it's gonna fall in these next
Yeah,
2 weeks.
that'd be crazy.
But
That'd be crazy.
it
Oh my
would be
gosh.
crazy.
Pound plates.
You got to do that
That
again,
was
Austin.
the first day that Frank's got a combo rack. I didn't even have a membership at Frank's at that time. I
Really?
Yeah, I canceled my membership to just lift at home because I had the
Hmm.
calibrated plates at home and Frank's didn't have them. But they got a combo rack. So I literally went there and got a day pass just to use the combo rack. And then I just left for
That's
another
crazy.
couple months.
Bro,
Yep.
you
I hopped in, hit a 5 plate squat, and then didn't return.
Damn.
little petite blonde teen comes in to hit a 5 plate squat and dips.
Yep. Yep.
Abuses the new combo rack.
Hey, hold up, boys. We've been yapping for too long. We got to segue into the next thing.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, let's. All right. So what I had was like social media influence and like comparison to others.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean? Like
Like
comparing yourself to social media influencers?
not necessarily social media influencers, but like how do I say it?
The social media lifts.
Yeah, the social. Yeah,
The Instagram lifters.
yeah. Letting what you see on social media like get into your head and fuck with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh,
I think
Definitely.
that is another like very big reason why people quit. Like you get on Instagram and you're like, of course that's like you're only gonna like follow the top
Yeah.
level guys because of course that's what's interesting. That's what you want to watch.
Yep.
But at the same time, if that's all you see and it's all you consume, like at a certain point, like you might start thinking that you're ass or something because you're
Yeah.
like,
Well, I mean, if you
I
Yeah.
only watch the top level lifters, you start to think
mhm.
that that's the average. Like, if you're
Yeah,
worse than them, then you just think you're horrible at the sport. When in reality, you're
exactly.
only looking at the top 0.1%.
Yeah, and there's
Yeah.
like you're like like here's like the top 1%, right? The top tippity top of the sport. You might be like right here. There's all of this down here, right? So you're pretty high up on the powerlifting hierarchy, but you're only looking up here,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you just ignore this.
Yeah.
It could get in your head.
Yeah. It feels like you're looking up to everyone and below everyone when really you're almost at the top with them.
Exactly.
I've for sure.
That's how I feel about when I see Austin's lifts or like perks. I'm like, bro, I straight up I'm like before the gym, I'm like, bro, how am I only hitting a single at this? Like I weigh more than them. Like what am I doing? And I get like depressed, bro. And then
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I have to like snap myself out of it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, I've felt the exact same thing of where I'll see like a top 66 hit a set, like especially like Daniel Clemens will triple like 700 on deadlift. And I'll look at that and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, why am I even trying to compete? He's tripling 700." And then I have to kind of
Yeah.
step back and think like I'm probably in the top 10 in this weight class and I think I'm horrible because I'm not the number one. I'm not beating this one guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw Perk's 305 squat today, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't even like comprehend having that much weight on my back.
Yeah.
That
Like,
was absurd. Yeah.
and it's like how can I ever like attain that? And it's like what what Noah said. Like for a second you think about it, and it's like, damn, like I'm cooked. I'm never gonna fucking catch this guy. I'm fucking ass. I suck. And you just got to like take a step back and like look at it objectively, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm 70 kilos. I've been in the weight class for like all of 2 months, if you want to count that even. I'm way younger than him, and I don't know. I have a lot more to give to the sport, so I really don't know where I'm gonna end up at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
that's what were you saying, Noah?
where was Perk uh 3 and a half years ago? Like he
800
was at
kilo total.
minimum, right?
We're still cooked.
No, but I'm not comparing us like to Perk now, but like Perk wasn't even like there were little whispers of him, like, oh, he could be,
Yeah,
what he could do
Yeah.
potentially,
yeah. He
right?
Yeah.
wasn't. He
But
wasn't
he
that
was
guy.
not like, yeah, he wasn't the Joe Bornstein at 21 years old, like. But now look at it, he's like, you know, he didn't let it get to his head. That's all we got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep working.
Is there anyone that gets into your head, Austin, besides Dan Clements?
Um, right now, no. I don't think so. I think I genuinely just enjoy training. The only time I get discouraged is when my training goes bad. Like I don't see other
Uh,
people's training go well anymore and let it discourage
Hmm.
me that I used to. Like especially
Yeah.
earlier this year when like I think that was another big problem for me was at the beginning of this year is I'd see other people hit these big numbers in my weight class and it would just
Hmm.
discourage me instead of uh, like making me more excited to train and get better. It would just discourage me into thinking that I could never get there. I think
Yeah.
Dan was always the big one, but I mean even like Morgan when he did the 700 kilo total at like RP7.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of people in my weight class that I looked at doing these things and just thought I could never get there. And I think
Yeah.
now I'm much better with that, where I just focus on my own training, and I always do much better when I just look at my own training and look at my progress instead of comparing it to other people.
Yeah. I feel like I've literally like just now gotten to that point where I can like I don't know like see some crazy shit online and just kind of like brush it off and not think about it too much. And
Yeah,
I only really care about what I'm doing.
I remember
Um,
when you were a 66, you unfollowed me for like months
I need that. I
what?
need that negativity on my feed, bro.
because I
I
remember
did not know.
I didn't even realize it, but I tried tagging you in a couple of videos and it just wouldn't let me tag you, and I had no idea why until you told me that like you told coach you were unfollowing me because it was discouraging you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
I remember it was you. There was like two other 66s in my gym that were strong as fuck. Um, fucking Bork the Goat. Who
Oh
else?
yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
I had to unfollow them all. Like I don't know. It was really getting into my head. I was watching their training and like actually like sitting in my room sad about it.
Yep.
Like fuck.
I did that when Noah joined the team.
Yeah, I was like, you had me stressed out, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't know I was gonna go 4 for 9.
No, I think actually that's a good point is I think it was on Two White Lights. Angelo was talking about his training and how like when he's not in the mix necessarily with the top 83s, his training goes way better. Like when he doesn't think he can win and he's just looking at his progress, not worrying about other people, that's when his training does the best. And
Yeah.
I
I
mean, we
mean,
can kind of see that right now. No one's talking about Angelo winning the 83s and he just hit
Hmm.
a 855 kilogram weekly total in the gym. Like his training's blowing up right now. I think and the thing that he put that towards was that he isn't looking at other people's training.
they're gonna start talking about. He's gonna be in the mix soon.
Yeah.
Just saying. That
I mean,
first
I mean,
83
after
squat
that week of training, he
700.
kind of is in the mix now.
Yeah,
Bro, yeah, think first 83 to squat 700 and pull 800. That's a 680 subtotal. Now his
That's
bench isn't crazy,
that's not
obviously,
a that's
but
that's not a subtotal game.
well, total
how's that
without
not a sub?
bench, but
Yeah,
But,
total
but
without
that's
still
bench.
total on
that,
two lifts. Yeah,
okay,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
same thing. It's like, bro, a total on 2 lifts, and you're totaling almost what a high end 66 is totaling.
That's kind of crazy.
yeah,
Like, think about that, bro. He could literally come in, deadlift, and squat, and out total the 66s. Like, not like the top of the top of
Yeah,
the group, but like very high quality lifters.
yeah. I
Hmm.
mean, he could go to nationals as a 66, only take his squat and deadlift, and that still place him top 10. That's crazy for, I mean, only being 2 weight classes ahead.
What's the total again for
6'8", because
680, isn't it?
680.
680? Damn.
That's 1,500.
Yeah,
Back, bro,
680.
back in the day, that would have been like competitive in the 83s, like 10 years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
And bro,
You might have been winning worlds with a 680 total back then.
all I know is that Russ ain't doing that right now.
Yeah, I don't like. Yeah, Russ isn't pulling 8. I mean, he's done it at like 200 pounds body weight, but
Yeah, that ain't count. He's fat.
Oh, yeah, Russ has pulled 800, hasn't he?
yeah,
Not
but it was
not
like
like
it was like
no.
200 pounds body weight,
It was on
pound
pound plates
plates,
too,
and
wasn't it? Yeah,
yeah, and
It
his
is
like
grip
grip
left.
left. Yeah,
Yeah, he did not pull 8.
yeah. I wouldn't say that counts.
Yeah.
yeah,
Sorry. I mean, I'm not a Russ hater, but just objectively, he did not pull 8.
Yeah,
And to be
yeah.
fair, Angelo did smoke it.
you think he had more?
Dude, he smoked that 8-pack. I'm just gonna say that. I mean,
I,
Well,
I
yeah, but I'm,
think,
I'm asking how much more do you think he would have had if you were like
uh,
really push it to a 10?
it wouldn't surprise me if he had 823,
Jeez.
yeah, I
or
mean, I don't,
821,
yeah.
whatever it is.
I don't know if he would have had a ton more, but it was for sure, like, that would have passed in comp, 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
Which he's had,
I think for sure he had 816
yeah,
that
that's
day.
fair. Like just a flat, like what is that? Seven reds.
is it?
Is
Oh,
it
yeah, I think
7
it is
reds and a collar?
actually. Yeah,
Yeah,
No, no,
that's
it's just
without a
7
collar.
reds.
well, yeah,
Wait,
without
no
the
collar.
collar, without the collar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But still, like 7 reds in the gym. That's
yeah,
stupid.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But no, I mean, I think
But
that plays into how not comparing yourself to the top people in your weight class can. I mean, I think for some people it can be used as fuel and just helping you want to get better. But I think for most people, just focusing on your own progress is what's going to be best for you.
yeah, I mean, like right now, I look at like other people, but it's like not to compare myself and like look too deep
Yeah,
into it. I just want to be like aware of
yeah,
what like the
yeah,
competition is doing and just take like a mental note of it, if that makes sense.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I
That
know
makes
what
sense.
to so I know what to expect to come into when I come into a meet. But like I don't look into it any deeper than that. You know?
Yeah, I think another topic or thing that people worry about is, I know we talked about how important variables are, but I think almost with anything, if you like hyper analyze or stress too much over it, it does the opposite effect. And that's something I know I had a problem with. Was I would always get 8 hours of sleep. I'd always hit all my calories, uh, keep my physical activity like good for the gym. But
Hmm.
if there was like one day where I got 7 hours of sleep, then I'd come into the gym the next day and have a horrible training session where like that 1 hour of sleep didn't actually make me have a horrible training session. It was just that I was stressing so much over that I lost an hour of sleep that the stress caused me to have a worse training session. And I
Hmm.
think that's things that a lot of younger lifters stress over, is just the variables and not actually, like, the variables are going to make a difference if they're compiled over time
In
and
the
they're
long
on
term. In the
average.
long term.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's why like you're so consistent, and like one off day isn't gonna affect anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like some days, like I used to get like 5 hours of sleep, 6 hours of sleep consistently.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Sometimes less. And I would have great training sessions on 4 hours of sleep. Nothing in my stomach going on a Saturday and PR. And I'm like, well, F these variables, so I just like wouldn't care. But then
Hmm.
that hurt me in the long run because I'm like, I can do it without it, but
You definitely want to
Yeah,
have good variables, but you don't want to like stress over
yeah. You
one
don't
little
want to tweak
variable
them.
that's wrong.
Like, oh
I
my gosh, this
I
this
would
time.
almost say that. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, bro. I was, yeah.
I was gonna say that like honestly, just having like I'd say having consistent variables is like more important than having perfect variables, if that makes sense. So like your variables are never gonna be like 100% like 1000% perfect, but as long as they're just consistent, I think that is like the important part. So like I'm gonna be real, like I don't get like 8 hours of sleep every night.
Oh,
I
we
haven't
know.
yeah I haven't like slept 8 hours since I was like 8 hours straight in like years.
What do you get on average, do you think?
Mm, like 5.5 to 7.
That's
Okay.
crazy. So we could say 6.5 is average, like six.
Six, yeah, 6 would be like a good night of rest for me. And it's
That's
like
not terrible.
it's yes, it's not that bad. So if I'm just like as long as I'm just getting like consistently like 6 hours of sleep, I'm good. Now if like that dips to like 3, or maybe I have like one day where I sleep only like 3 hours, then yeah, I'm probably gonna have a bad day. But if I can just consistently get like all right sleep, that's okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess, yeah. I mean, more like if you went into every training session now worrying like, oh, this is going to be a bad training session because I only got 6 hours of sleep, that's going to
Hmm.
hurt your training way more than the 6 hours of sleep actually does.
Yeah.
So are you saying that it's like better to be consistently slightly off than to be um inconsistent with 6 to 8 to 7 to 5 to 8? Like you're consistently like under what you should be getting. Is that what you're saying? Because sometimes when I
Okay.
was getting, because
All right.
when I
Let's say
would
let's
get like 6 hours of sleep and I'd sleep extra on one night, I would feel off almost because like it wasn't my normal sleep pattern.
exactly. Yeah. So it's like let's say you're going through a week and it's like Monday you sleep out 8 hours, Tuesday you get like 5, and you get like 7, and then you get a 4, then you get a 6 and a 6. I say it would almost be better if you just got 6 hours throughout the whole week
I see. I agree with that.
Yeah,
because
I
it
I don't
could
know
just
see
the
creates
that.
science is
consistency.
behind that, but I would agree with it if I heard it.
Yeah. So that's I guess that's really what I mean.
Yeah, I could see that.
Austin, what's your sleep looking like right now?
Um, I get around 8.
Hmm.
Um, I think like 8 to 8.5 is pretty average. There
Does school
are
affect it or no?
um no, school doesn't. I think work affects it more because school, I don't have classes till like 9 in the morning. So if there is a day where I stay up a little later, I have the room to just sleep in a little longer, and still get the same amount of sleep. Unless it's a day that I work in the morning, then I don't have that. But on average, I'd say I get 8 to 8.5. But
Yeah.
then, so I mean, that's kind of the thing though, is then if there is a day where I get like 6.5 hours of sleep, I feel the same in the gym where like I used to go into the gym on days like that and then think I'm just gonna have a horrible training session because I got an hour and a half less of sleep. And I think it was me thinking that I'd have a bad training session that actually caused the bad training session, not
Yeah.
Mm.
the hour and a half of sleep that I lost. So I don't know. I
Hmm.
think that's something that people, I don't know. I don't want to say focus on too much because it is important to have your variables in check, but also understand that one little thing isn't going to ruin your training.
Exactly. Yeah.
I
100%.
I had a thought. So the topic's burnout, right? And
Yeah.
so a lot of people, it's easy. I think it's easy to burn out when you're good at something else. Because
Elaborate.
if your powerlifting isn't going well and you're and you're good at another art, music, whatever, another sport, it's easy to go to that as like a safe space. You're like, this is gonna be exciting, and I know I'm decent enough that
Mhm.
if I get my feet going in it and like get my feet wet in it, I'll almost get back up to the same par that I am in powerlifting,
Yeah.
right? So I guess when you were feeling burnout, Austin or Asante, like what were you thinking you would do? Because I know you guys wouldn't just do nothing. So where did your brain go to? Because you're like, well, do I really like this? So when you're thinking, do I really like this? You're clinging on to something else. Like there's no way you're not thinking, I'm just gonna do nothing. No one does that.
Well, I'm gonna be real. I was thinking about just doing nothing. Like
Like
not
nothing. You'd be a
not
lazy
nothing.
piece
Not
of
nothing.
crap, like a useless. Never mind. But like, go ahead. Sorry.
I was thinking like during that time when I was thinking about quitting, what was going through my head was basically just like, what would it be like if I just like didn't compete anymore? If I just like went to the gym just to lift and be healthy, and I just like lived life like a regular person, you know? So
Well,
that's
yeah. Well, regular people aren't jacked, so
like I guess what I meant by not doing anything was just like not competing in anything and just like training to train. Like that's what I
like just
probably would have done.
bodybuilding
Yeah, if you want to call it that, yeah. Just
or just for fun. Like you literally just go into the gym for fun.
yeah, or like just training to look good.
That's correct. Okay, bodybuilding. Yeah.
Yeah, bodybuilding. But not
What
even
about you, Austin?
but not competing, you know?
Yeah.
I
Just lifting to lift.
yeah, honestly, I think that's a big reason why I didn't quit is because there like I need something to be competitive in. Like I just have to have something to work towards. I love the
Hmm.
I don't know, I love competition. I love being competitive in sports.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a backup plan, I guess, to powerlifting. So I think that's why I just kept doing it anyways. Plus, I mean,
That makes sense.
I don't think there was ever necessarily a point where I ever really considered stopping powerlifting. It was more just like not enjoying it and not, I
Yeah.
think I was still doing it. I just wasn't doing it for the right reason, I think. That if I would have kept going for that same reason, eventually maybe I would have had the thought of quitting. But I think I kind of caught it early enough where that never actually was a thought to me. I just realized
Yeah,
that it could have been.
that makes
Yeah.
sense. I mean, I don't think most people are actually deep into powerlifting when they get into a slump. I don't think they genuinely want to quit. But again, like I've been saying this whole time, they have this thing that they cling on to where it's like hope. Like it's like this imaginary thing. They're like, okay, this would be better, but they don't actually want to quit powerlifting, but they just cling on to it because they're good enough to. Because they're like,
I
oh,
see
I'm
what
just
you
gonna
mean,
quit
yeah.
and do. I'm gonna go to the U.S. Open. I'm gonna train for this
How many people do you think only do powerlifting because they're good at it?
a lot.
Yeah, I think uh, a decent amount. If we're talking about like young powerlifters, I think a lot. Like teenage
I,
lifters.
I think
Be
it's like the majority.
Yeah, because I think a
Yeah,
lot of people just have the expectation. Like I think people, especially on social media, put the expectation on them that they're going to be the next open champion or one of the greatest powerlifters ever. So even if they
Hmm.
don't enjoy the sport, they just have kind of like Noah said, like the fantasy of I'm going to be the greatest powerlifter one day. So even if they don't enjoy the sport, they just have the thought of I'm going to enjoy being the best. And then when they start to realize that that might not be realistic, is when they just quit.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I got a
Well,
question for you, Austin.
go ahead.
Yeah.
So like let's say hypothetically, right? There was a person that could just tell you like anything about your future, right?
Hmm.
And you went up to them and you asked them, "Will I ever win an IPF world title in the Open?" And they said no. Would you continue?
yeah, I'd keep powerlifting
Really?
because I think like now the the whole reason I started powerlifting is because I thought it was so cool that like physically my body can't do this. Like when I first started lifting, I probably couldn't have even unracked like a 400-pound squat.
Hmm.
And compared to now, I can squat it almost mindlessly. I think that's the coolest part to me is just the physical growth really. And I think that's still the coolest part to me of where your body can just physically not be able to do something and then it can compared to the championships. I don't think I mean obviously I want to win. Like
Yeah,
that's the goal at the end of the day is to win. But
yeah. But
if you if you
if you
told
knew that
me
you would never win anything else, you would continue.
yeah, if I knew I'd never win worlds, I wouldn't just quit powerlifting because of it.
Would you be? Would you take it less serious though?
Um
Because the
maybe.
seriousness does come like knowing that you're potentially on the cusp of winning something big is part of the reason why you're that serious,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah, for
Hmm.
sure. But I guess even like right now, I don't like winning open worlds isn't even on my mind right now. Like that's not even a thing I'm thinking about. I want to make it to open worlds, but right now I don't care if I went to open worlds and got third place, I would be perfectly fine. I just want to have the chance to go to open worlds. Um,
yeah,
even like I mean you can say the same about nationals. Like I want to win nationals to win open nationals. I've never won an open nationals before, but going there and getting podium, that's I don't know. I still can find enjoyment in it even without winning. I think it's just as enjoyable to me, whether I win
okay.
or lose.
So, but there's a caveat to that though, because you going to open, it's not guaranteed, but there's a high likelihood of you podiuming on open and then knowing that you're going to go to junior worlds. Like there's a backup,
Yeah,
right? So what if that backup wasn't there? What if you know, like you just ain't going to junior worlds? You'd be fine with that, or would you? Like, okay, I guess the question is, would you rather take more time and just do junior nats, like if it wasn't as safe, or would you want to compete at open and go?
yeah. No, I see what you mean, but I think that kind of like almost proves my point is the way like the route that I'm taking for this year is a lot more risky because I'm not going to junior nationals no matter what. So I know that if I don't win open nationals, my spot at junior worlds is at risk when I could peak for both like I just did this year. I could go to open worlds if I don't win, go to junior nationals, try and win, and then go to junior worlds. But I'd rather just
Yeah,
go to open nationals, hit what I hit, and then if someone at junior nationals beats my total and takes the world spot, then good for them. I don't want to delay my progress long term just so I can go to worlds this year. I'd rather have I'd rather keep progressing and skip worlds this year. So
yeah, that's valid.
For sure.
I guess we know Austin ain't burning out.
Yeah. I mean,
I think it's because I kind of experienced it earlier this year and I got out of it. There
mhm.
actually I don't know if I ever told you guys this story, but there was a specific day I remember where I went into the gym. I was warming up on deadlift and my hamstrings were so tight and so sore. I There was like a part of me that just didn't even want to lift. I wanted to just go home. It was when I was prepping for Worlds too. So I was lifting at like 5 in the morning. I was just tired. I was sore. I didn't feel like doing anything. And there was a guy next to me that I've seen in the gym before, but didn't really talk to him. And he saw me load 500 and he was like going insane because he was like, I've never actually seen someone deadlift 500 in person before. So then I did it.
Really.
And then I went up to 600 and I told him like, or I think he said something about like, I'll get to see a 500 and 600 deadlift in the same day for the first time. And he just kept saying like, this is what I like about you is that you just do this for fun. Like the biggest thing about you is that you just lift because you genuinely love it. And at the time I didn't. I like completely hated it. But then I remembered like I think that was like my best thing was that I just loved lifting. I didn't really care what happened. I just loved doing it. And kind of since that day, that's all I remember is that I don't do this because I get paid to do it. I just do it because I love it. So
Yeah, I remember when I was younger, lifting with Logan and them in like my high school gym. I wasn't worried about fucking being an IPF world champion or winning fucking nationals or any of that bullshit. I didn't even know what powerlifting was.
yeah,
Um, I was just in the gym doing SBD because I just liked pushing my body. Like it was just
yeah,
like fun to me, like pushing my limits. And then like I got into powerlifting, and then for a while, like that kind of purpose got lost a little bit. Then I experienced, like you said, I experienced the burnout, and then came out of it. And I feel like now I kind of have like that like young Asante mindset of training, where I'm just
yeah,
doing it to see how far I can push my body, rather than seeing how competitive I can be or how high I can place on the podium. If I just like how I see it now, it's just like if I maximize my potential and push myself as far as I can, the winning and the podium placements will just come as a byproduct. So I should just focus on this instead.
yeah. That makes sense. Did I
Yeah,
mean I guess same question to you two. Like if you knew that you'd never win worlds, would you still be just as focused on powerlifting as you are right now?
for sure.
Totally.
I mean, I'm already kind
Yeah.
of at a point where like this is gonna sound terrible, but like I've kind of accepted that like I may not win worlds, and that's fine.
Yeah. I mean,
Like it's
I
perfectly
think
fine.
if you say that about any other sport, that's not a crazy thing to say. Like
Yeah,
what you just said is like I've accepted that I might not be the number one greatest in the world. Like you should
yeah.
probably accept that because that's
Well, it's
you're accepting that you might not be the number one best.
yeah. Well,
What
it's like
about even
the competitor in me is like you should never like say something like that. You should always like bet on yourself and say that you're gonna win. But it's
Yeah.
like I really don't know. Just going with the flow and seeing what happens. That's my mindset right now.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I would just love the even the opportunity to like NAPF like that even that dude like just that would be cool. Like
Yeah,
honestly, that'd be cool. But
yeah. So you get to represent your country still.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean it's
I mean
I'm
Like just
even nationals, like we're traveling across the country to still compete. Even though there's, I mean, especially like for PA, there's not qualifying totals, but if
mhm.
we weren't in powerlifting, if we weren't going to nationals, we wouldn't be doing that. So even just that is still giving you the opportunity to travel the country.
yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah,
we're
we do have a we are pretty lucky for that
mhm.
to be doing this sport.
Yeah.
We're making memories. You know what I mean? I feel like that's the most important part. Like
Without
Yeah, that's true.
powerlifting, this podcast never would have happened. I would have never met either of you.
yeah, it's like I don't know. Having fun should always be number one priority.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
100%.
you're not gonna be good at the sport if you don't enjoy it. We don't get paid to lift. I mean, even like almost all of the people that are going to Sheffield have a full-time job, like
Yeah.
alongside powerlifting. Like you don't get paid full time to just powerlift. So if you
hmm
don't genuinely love it, it's there's just too much sacrifice involved to keep doing it.
Yeah, it's like fighting. It's like when people get into like I have a lot of friends or like even people I know that like get into fighting for like a really short amount of time, like MMA or something, because like it's a big sacrifice of time and like your body gets beat up, like literally beat up, but like even like just recovering from that,
hmm
um, they just they quit. I mean, they quit so fast. because they realize they don't love it. But I mean, it's just a big sacrifice for something that you don't really get much return of if you think about it like with winning stuff. So it definitely I think it's an easy sport to burn out with.
Yeah, you gotta think like unless you're like at the tippity top of the sport, you're not getting anything in return. You're actively losing money every year to compete.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
So
you're
true.
you're you're, you're sacrificing to sacrifice.
yeah.
Yeah. But you also do, I mean, unless you're like 400 pounds like Jesus, um, you're generally going to be a healthier human being. Like, I mean, let's be real. Jesus being 400, this is off topic, but Jesus being 400 pounds is not healthy as a human being. But like powerlifting for a majority of people will be a healthy thing. Like, just like to get lifting in the gym, like putting
I'm
Healthier
gonna have
some
than
to
muscle
for
disagree.
an
mass.
average person, I'd say. Yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna have to disagree
Yeah,
on
that's
that.
what I'm saying. For an average person, like just getting in the gym and lifting heavy weights and I mean, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure it helps your bone density in the long run, like lifting weights.
True.
It does add
it's
muscle
healthier than
mass. I
not
mean,
lifting at all for sure.
yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. It's an overall plus,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But
Mhm.
like, if you're, yeah. Anyways, that's all I gotta say. I
I
don't
I
know.
always, always thought that like powerlifting like inherently like wasn't like a healthy thing to do. Like
Really,
like when I always think to myself like when God was like making our bodies, he wasn't he did not have powerlifting in mind. Like I don't think like
Well, that is probably true. Yeah,
I don't think
because
well,
the human body isn't like biologically designed to bear 4 times his body weight on his back. You know?
yeah,
I mean, but we do. I don't know, man. Like, there's a reason why we're able to build up that tolerance. So,
Yeah. Or
like, I
human
guess you could.
adaptability.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's hard to say
Hmm.
for me. That's like saying ants
I
lift
uh,
10 times their body weight.
say that again.
That's like saying, never mind. That's not a good one, but I don't know. I don't know. I just think like there's a reason why we're able to adapt to do that. Like,
Yeah. Well, I guess that's just me being old and thinking about how my knees and my elbows feel all the time.
you know, I still don't understand that. Like, how how do your knees like my knee? I think I mentioned to you guys the other day.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It feels better already.
What?
Like my knee, I hurt my knee was like I was painful. Like deadlifts, like it was super painful, but now they feel fine after squats. Like I don't know. Like I don't get that unk. Like oh my back, oh, that unk stuff.
You might just be built for this more than I am, man.
Dude, I
You're an
think I just
outlier.
drink raw milk.
Get the fuck out of here.
He's too optimal.
Yeah. I don't know. I have like I live in like constant like not like constant pain, but I always have like little like nagging aches and pains everywhere. You know what I mean? I know Austin can relate.
I've been feeling a lot better recently, but
Oh my god, fuck you
no,
guys,
I
bro.
no, I definitely agree,
Do I
but
just do I just suck, bro? Damn.
no, no, no. I think that definitely is part of like I don't want to say the sacrifice of the sport, but like you're not going to feel 100% all the time. Like when you're squatting 4 times your body weight, deadlifting 4 times your body weight, you're not gonna just feel completely healthy and fine always. Like especially like in prep. I guess
Hmm.
I don't know how both of you guys feel, but I think on average when you're in prep for a meet, you just feel drained, like you just feel almost horrible.
Yeah,
Like the
because you're hitting those heavier loads more often.
yeah, like right before you compete. Um,
Feel better.
I I think okay, on average, I think a lot of
Yeah,
people
yeah.
feel super
I'm just
beat right
playing.
before they compete.
Yeah.
And I mean that's just gonna come with it. It's almost the saying like you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Like
Hmm.
if
No
you're
diddy.
in the gym not push up, you're not gonna get better. So you kind of just have to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think if you feel fresh all the time, you're not pushing hard enough.
Noah's just not getting better.
You're not training hard enough,
Dude,
Noah.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't feel fresh on like uh bench days. That's like about it,
Bench days of all days.
dude. I it's pretty maximal every day.
Jesus Christ. I mean, my bench feels like pretty fresh every day, but like squat and dead, like my lower body gets beat like really easily, and it takes like a long time for it to recover.
No
Like
diddy,
huh,
My
no diddy.
bro.
my
Like my
no, you can keep going,
sorry.
Sante.
Oh, I was just gonna say like my knees get like stressed out really easily. It's mainly just my knees, I guess and then I developed like a little bit of elbow tendonitis recently, but
Yeah,
I'm never like fully comfortable. It feels.
I was gonna say my body almost goes on cycles. Like I know there's
Hmm.
certain days of the week where every Wednesday my elbows hurt from heavy bench Monday and squat Tuesday. Like I never have a Wednesday bench session where I feel good, or like
Hmm.
on Friday my hamstrings, my lower body's always sore. Like there's certain days of the week where parts of my body are just always not going to feel good.
Yeah,
Well, dude, your volume is absurd. I mean, like I honestly don't know how you handle that,
yeah. How do you not break Austin?
but yeah,
I don't know. I don't know.
Like, your combination of like volume and intensity is crazy.
Yeah.
it is. Bro tripled 518 on a secondary day
Yeah,
squat.
like what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so also I have a question for you guys. So, what do you think is? I think we might have answered this. I want to see what you guys have it in a short, concise answer of what is the biggest like the best answer to burnout? What's the number one thing someone should focus on to not burn out? Whether it's a teenager or even a 20-year-old kid, like 21-year-old kid getting into powerlifting, right? Like what's the number one thing
I think
for
it
you guys?
I think it changes per person, I guess, based on what the burnout is from. But I'd say on average, like the best thing is kind of just look at why you joined the sport, like what your uh, reasoning for starting powerlifting was in the first place. I don't think
Mhm.
Okay.
many people go to their first powerlifting meet thinking like, "Oh, I'm only doing this because I want to be a IPF world champion." Like I feel like there's a lot of people have a different reason to why they want to powerlift, at least initially. So I think that the
Hmm.
best thing is to kind of just look back at that and realize why you started and just continue from that.
You kind of low key kind of stole my answer. Yeah.
That's
Because
interesting
I
because
just
I
I
don't. Sorry,
huh?
go ahead.
No,
Go
I'm just
ahead.
gonna say because I remember when I was like dealing with that burnout from junior nationals. Like that is what helped me get out of it. Like just like sitting down and asking myself like, why did I start doing this in the first place?
Hmm.
And you
So
like you allowed yourself to get this far now. Like, why are you stopping? If that I don't know how if this is making any sense.
that makes sense to me. Both your guys' answer, but also it's like I think a lot of teenagers. Well, most new people are teenagers. I'd say, right? So we could
Yeah.
right. So if we look at that and you say, well, why did you start? I think a lot of teenagers would just say, I was training to get strong for X sport, and then someone said, hey, you would be good at powerlifting.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like they just go because they're like, oh, I was training for baseball, I was training for football or whatever, and then some old head in the gym said, yo, you should try powerlifting. You'd be strong. You'd be good at it. And so like if I like were to look back on why I started, I don't know. I don't know if that would keep me out of it, like to keep me out of the burnout.
Yeah. I
What do you
mean,
think, Noah? What do you think is
I,
the
I
best way?
I think the skill to take like how do I word this to be able to just look at like the reality of things and just look at it objectively and just see, okay, these are the things that I want with the sport. These are the things I like with it. These are the things I dislike. You just like break it all out, and like at the end of the day, if there's more pros and cons, I think stick with it. And if the cons really do outweigh the pros, I would just stop. Like just look at it as objectively as possible. Because I've done that before too. I'm like, well, if I quit, these are the things I'm losing, and these are the things I'm gaining, and the things that I gain doesn't outweigh what I get from powerlifting.
Yeah,
So
I think
I think that's a good skill to learn.
yeah,
I think that's like the number one thing, honestly.
100%.
I think that is
Um,
good. Just very quickly, like I think there's a ton of people that I've met in powerlifting where probably like at least three-quarters of the people I talk to are within powerlifting now. Where if I stopped powerlifting, there would be a ton of people that I used to talk to that it wouldn't be the same anymore if I wasn't competing. I've had friends that I met in powerlifting that stopped powerlifting, and I kind of just don't talk to them anymore because a lot of our relationship was powerlifting, and they just don't follow powerlifting anymore, and there's not as much to talk about. Now, obviously, there's not everyone. Like I have a lot of very close friends that don't know anything about powerlifting, but I think a lot of my relationships or friendships have started from powerlifting.
yeah,
That makes
that's honestly huge. I think like Noah, you left out like a very big like demographic of people. There's a lot of people that like not strictly do powerlifting for this reason, but it's like a very big reason why they do it. But like the social aspect, like just the community and like the opportunity to make friends, I feel like that is something that keeps like a lot of people in it. Because
Right.
it definitely helps me. Like I love like showing up to the gym and just fucking chopping it up with my buddies for 20 minutes before I start warming up, waste a bunch of time.
Yeah.
That's honestly like the funnest part of like training to me,
that's crazy.
like
I
the social part.
Yeah, I think in
That's
general, the powerlifting community is a great community. Like, there's a little, like maybe 1% of drama that people focus on very heavily. But I think
Hmm.
overall, it's just such a small portion. Like, I don't know, it's a small community. Nothing's really that like deep or
Yeah,
important where, I don't know, just have fun with it. There's no reason to be focusing on that kind of stuff when in reality it's such a small, like if you show up at a gym and you talk about the latest powerlifting drama, no one's gonna have a clue what you're talking about. Even if you show up to
hmm,
like a local powerlifting meet, maybe like 5% of people are gonna know the drama. Everyone else is just there to lift and have fun.
yeah.
that's true. But Asante, also, I mean, yeah, I guess I have a question because I don't. If I were, I never really went to the gym for a social aspect.
Hmm.
Like my friends, like some of them did start powerlifting, but that wasn't like the base of our like we wouldn't like mess around in the gym. Like there obviously there's times where I dick around in the gym with my
Yeah.
buddies. Like it's very one off. But like do you think like you wouldn't be friends with those people without it? Like cuz like my buddies like that I started powerlifting with, I'm still friends with them and they don't even some of them don't even lift anymore. Like it
Well,
didn't change my social life at all.
I would say that I'm the same as you. Like my friends that got me into powerlifting, like Logan. Well, it was really just
Uh
Logan, and then like I had like two other friends that came to the gym with us, and we would train together every day. Um, like it was so easy to keep coming back to the gym for me because it was just like another opportunity for me to spend time with my friends. And then
I
like
see.
eventually like those people did like fizzle out. They stopped powerlifting, they stopped training. But like the social part of it made it easier for me to like get my foot in the door into the
Mm.
powerlifting space. So like so I'd say that was like a big part for me and it still is a big part for me now. Like
And
if
that was like your time to hang out with them almost, right?
exactly yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
Uh,
I can
And
see that.
even like right now like like the gym is like the only place where I get like any sort of like human interaction. That's probably bad. That's probably really bad.
That's that's crazy, bro.
It's like literally like work in the gym. It's like the only time I'm out of the house and I'm talking to people.
I mean, damn, bro. That's all I gotta say.
So like
I've never heard you ever go out. You, I mean,
I like
you golf,
huh?
go to the gym, and church. Like that's all I know.
Yeah, and I like go out. I used to go out with my now ex-girlfriend, but I only went out because she wanted to go out. You know, but like normally that's not something I would do. I'm kind of a hermit. So like that
Okay.
so that time that I'm at the gym, that's like that is the time for me to get out all of my social juices. You know, so that is a part of the reason why it's so easy for me to go every day.
Makes sense.
Solid answer, Mr. Gordon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Wait,
Awkward
Austin, but what
silence.
do you do? Like, I gotta know, like, genuinely, what do you do?
What do I do all day?
No, no, Austin,
Oh,
I gotta know because actually, I need to know more Asante and Austin lore. To be honest, like, I don't know what like. There's some suspicious activities going on both sides. I feel like
okay. Well, Austin, you go first. What do you like to do outside of powerlifting?
I gotta
Golf.
know like what other like.
That's it.
Okay,
Why? No, no.
question.
A big thing about me though is I will like super hyper focus on one thing at a time. I don't do a lot of different things, but when I get into something, I get extremely into it and it takes over everything. That's how powerlifting has been for a long time. That's how golf has been for me this summer. Like, if I'm not at school doing homework, if I'm not working, if I'm not at the gym, I'm doing something related to golf. That's just all I do. And it's the same way, like, when golf is done, there'll be something else that takes up my time doing completely everything. That's how I've always been.
So, would
Hmm.
you crash out powerlifting for golf? Let's just say you get to a point you're like, all right, I can get into some tournaments, maybe win some money here and there, and then powerlifting's on the downside. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna stop training for a little bit and just focus on golf. Do you think that's a potential for you? It's like we're on the burnout topic, you know.
Um, I don't think I would ever stop powerlifting. I think there could definitely be
Mm.
a point where I focus on something else more. But I I like I was saying earlier, genuinely just love powerlifting, where I don't think something would come up where I was like, oh, I'm gonna stop. Like, I don't love golf more than powerlifting, where even if the opportunity came for me to make money off of it, which by the way, I'm horrible at golf, so this would not happen. But if
Hey,
it
you
did
never
come
know.
up where I could, like make money off of golf, and quit powerlifting, I would rather golf for fun and do powerlifting competitively.
Hmm.
Because I mean,
Interesting.
that's what it is
Good
to me.
answer.
Golf is just like a hobby. It's just fun.
For now.
Yeah, I'm five
For
five.
now.
What does height have to do with golf?
It's all leverages.
Yeah.
Oh, is that why Trump is so good? He's like 6'3".
I think Trump
Maybe.
just has had the money, enough money to do it his whole life.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
He owns like hundreds of golf courses.
yeah, like his whole. I mean, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if most of his family golfs. Like it's just like it's an expensive sport. You know, this is really
Yeah.
off topic, but it's expensive, man.
Yeah.
But
No,
I mean,
let me flip the question back to you. So, like, what do you do outside of powerlifting? Like, what does your life look like outside of this sport?
apparently,
Hmm.
um, well, I wake up. I wake up at about 8.
Okay,
Go to work at 9. I work till 6 o'clock, and I'm in. I work from home.
okay.
I work from 9 to 6. I might walk around during my lunch. Maybe go to the grocery store during my lunch. Get some steps in. And then after 6 o'clock, I go train. I come back and I eat. And I sleep.
Bro, you're no different from me, and you're calling me crazy.
Well, now it is. This is very new life for me. This is the last 4 weeks since I've moved here,
Okay.
Florida. Because, dude, I mean, when I was living in Utah and I was so close to the mountains, dude, I had access to do. I mean, you guys know. You guys saw my. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, you
you
guys,
know,
you're on some crazy shit in Utah.
yeah, I was always up in the mountains. I was doing something
Yeah.
at 2 in the morning. Something.
Well, I'd
So,
say my thing right now, uh, like my second biggest hobby outside of powerlifting, is probably basketball. I'm a huge basketball fan. I love watching the games. I love
dude, I
looking
was.
at the box scores. Um, and then I like playing basketball. You know, when the weather's warm. You know, I'm out there getting into pickup games like once a week. So I guess that's my secondary hobby is basketball.
I think relating
Legit.
to burnout, that's important too. If
Yeah,
powerlifting is all you do, I don't think that's sustainable, like long
for
term.
sure. Oh yeah, you're cooked. Literally.
Long term, long term.
Yeah. Like in the wintertime, like right now, like this shit sucks. Like the fact that I can't just like go out and like go on a walk or play basketball whenever I want because
Bro,
of
don't
like
you
weather
game?
conditions. Huh?
Don't you game?
Not really, not anymore.
I mean, or well, I mean, there's got to be like a local YMCA.
Yeah, but I don't know anybody at those courts. It's
Bro,
I like the outdoor courts better.
that's valid. The metal nets.
No,
Oh, I
we
swear
No.
you always be sending videos of metal nets.
we
Or am
we
I
we have
tripping?
we have regular white string nets. This isn't.
Really? Hey, to everyone listening, Asante can dunk. So I have this vague memory. Maybe I'm tripping. I see this in
I know
my
what you're
head.
talking about. I did dunk one time on a metal net and I sent it to
Okay,
you. Yeah.
that's why I'm like that's my image of you. When I see basketball, I see literal like Asante jumping up and dunking a basketball on a metal net. Like that's all I see.
Okay. Well, that wasn't the net that I typically play on.
All right, good to know.
Yeah, but yeah, I think having other hobbies outside of powerlifting will be good for anybody.
Yeah.
Like Austin said, if this is like all you do, this is like your whole life. You're literally like setting yourself up to get burnt out at some point. Like you got to have a life respectively.
Yeah.
Respectfully,
Yeah.
I thanks, bro.
You have
what?
to golf almost every day.
What?
You have to golf almost every day.
Dude, I'm in Florida. I gotta get more into golfing. That it's like the state to do it, you know.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest, I think golf pairs amazing with powerlifting because it is very fun and like it's physical activity while not being high stress mentally or physically.
I mean that
yeah.
I've golfed twice now, or once, but I've been to the range a
Mm.
couple times. I have to say it is very fun,
Yeah.
but also very angering.
I've never gone golfing. Well, I went one time when I was like 6, but like that doesn't count. So I just say I haven't gone.
Yeah.
That's
It's fun.
valid.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have the funds to pick up golf as a hobby.
I don't think I do right now.
Yeah. Like with basketball, all I need is a ball and a pair of shoes, and I'm good.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And I can show up to any court, and there's going to be other people there that I can play with, and it's going to be a good day.
Yeah.
But maybe when the wallet's looking a little thicker, we'll get into golf.
I like it. We'll go golfing sometime.
Yeah, I'll pull up on you in Wisconsin.
Deal. Hey, there's some nice courses here. There's some
Are
nice
there?
ones here. Yeah.
There's actually like a golf course like maybe like a 7 minute drive away from my house. It's like
Oh,
right next to a cemetery though.
uh,
What?
There's a golf course like right next to a cemetery, and it's like a 7-minute drive from my house. Pretty close.
I thought you said something else.
What did you think I said?
I can't say, but I thought you said it sounded crazy to me. I was like, what? It's like that guy telling me, that homeless guy today. But yeah, I was like, what did he say?
It's crazy.
What did he say again?
Oh, he told me to go back to Shanghai. He's like, go back to Shanghai, mother effer. Actually, excuse my language. It's funnier like this. You don't have cash. Go back to Shanghai, motherfucker. I'm like black homeless guy on a bike while I'm eating Chipotle, bro. Crazy.
I wish I could have like seen that interaction like in person.
Dude, my buddy Matt, I was sitting with, he was literally just looking down at his
Mhm.
bowl the whole time this interaction's going on. So this homeless guy only has one person to look at.
Mhm.
Ugh, I'm yeah, no, it was terrible. And then like
That's
he's like
funny.
circling us with his bike too after.
Bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can
All
call
right.
it
Well,
there.
I guess we're wrapping it up.
Yep.
All right. So thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of the Podium. We'll see you in a week. Peace out, guys.